here today with Jason Salopek. Say hi, Jason.
Hello. I can't even say my own name.
What is it?
Jason Salopek.
Is it?
It is.
Today we are at Gembrook Skate Park. This is actually the first time I ever saw mountain boarding was at this skate park. This is where I grew up. So it seemed only fitting that today we'll teach you how to ride mountain boards at a skate park at Gembrook Skate Park. So we're going to go over 5 main things. The first one's going to be what, Jason?
Dropping into a quad park.
The second thing's going to be?
Pumping transition through the skate park to get speed.
And what are the other ones going to be?
Third one is going to be rock to fakie. And then fourth one will be learning how to grind a ledge and a rail. And the fifth one will be airing out of a quarter pipe.
So yeah, we're going to get stuck into it here. Jason's going to start with the drop in. Let's do it. If you want to learn how to ride your mountain board at the skate park, pick a skate park that's not very busy. The most important thing you can do when you arrive at the skate park is step back and look around and observe your surroundings. See where everyone's riding their bikes, their skateboards, and make sure you pick a place where you're not going to be in anyone's way. So have a look at people's lines and try and find a space where it's clear for you to learn for the first time.
Alright, trick tip number 1, dropping into a quarter pipe. First thing, you want to get your board, slam it on top of the coping. Make sure your tyres are nice and tight against the quarter pipe. So you want to chuck your feet in. A little trick I like to do, I like to put a lot of pressure on my heels. That way it stops your board from sliding on the coping and falling into the quarter pipe early. Once you're all strapped in, you got your legs nice and bent, weights all centered over the board. So you want to turn your body, push all your weight into that quarter pipe, twist your body 90 degrees and make sure you've got your weight a little bit forward over the center of the board and then ride away. So once you've gotten comfortable with dropping into the quarter pipe, the next thing I like to do is jumping into the transition just to get that little bit of extra speed. So tip 1 for that is you want to make sure you're tacking nice and hard into the quarter, picking a spot as high as you can on the ramp. And then once you ollie, you want to rotate your shoulders 90 degrees, kind of like you're doing a spin. And then you're dropping that back foot as high as possible into the transition and really pumping and riding away as fast as you can.
Alright, step number 2, we're going to learn how to pump transitions on your mountain board. Pumping transitions on your mountain board is very important because that's how you generate speed throughout the skate park. If you don't pump the transition, you're just going to ride down the ramp and lose all your speed. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're riding down the ramp, you need to keep your knees nice and low, nice and bent, and you're pushing your weight into the ramp. And as you're riding down the ramp, you want to get lower and lower, so when you reach the bottom of the transition, you're pushing all your weight into that bottom transition, and you're going to push the final time and lift up and push through. So you're going down, then up. Just like this. So push down, up. So once you've mastered rolling down a ramp and pumping the transition, the next thing you want to do is try and figure out how to pump a mini ramp or pump a quarter pipe. So just like Jason showed you before, we're going to drop in and we're going to pump up this spine and come back down. Alright, up and down, half pipe motion. So the first thing is drop in. When we go up the transition, we're going to bend our knees and extend them when we get to the top. So we're going to go start low. When we get to the top of transition, go up. When we turn around and come back down again, you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to bend your knees as you're going down. And when you leave the ramp, you're going to go up. So like this. Alright, here we go. Up, down. Over here. Up, down. Alright, so you've mastered dropping in, pumping transitions. Now you're ready to go up and attack the coping. So this is how you do a rock to fakie. So what's going to happen is you're going to go up the ramp, pump the transition, bend your knees, straighten out a little bit. Let your board go over the coping. You're going to lift up, push your front foot down a little bit so your back wheels and your trucks come off the ramp. So you're like this. You're balancing there. You're pushing your foot down so your front wheels hit the deck. My mate here is going to come through in the shot. Pushing down, and then you're ready to come back down the ramp, coming backwards. So you're gonna lift your front foot up. Now this is very important. You need to lift your front foot up so your board comes back down again. And then once you get to here, you're gonna lift your foot again. So you're pulling it, you're almost doing a manual. So you're in space, your board's sort of like this, you're clearing this coping. The biggest accident happens when you're doing a rock to fakie and you don't lift your board, and you're gonna get stuck like this. So you're bouncing, pulling, clearing the coping, bending your knees, riding out the transition. Once you've mastered the basic rock to fakie, you can swag it out a little bit. To swag it out, you're gonna get your front foot as far over the deck as possible. So you're balancing on the back part of your board as close to the wheels as possible. So it's a full dip, all right? I'll show you how to do it.
All right, now for the best part, my favorite part, ledges and rails. So you want to find one that's small enough that it's going to be comfortable to ollie on, but obviously not too small because you don't want your wheels hitting the ground and practically rolling. So what I like to do when I'm approaching the ledge, I like to come at it on a little bit of an angle, and when I'm coming in, my knees are bent, and I like to pick a spot on the ledge which I want to land on, all right? So I'm popping, I'm looking at that spot, making sure I'm bringing my back foot around, slamming it down onto the ledge, putting a lot of pressure on my toes so it's keeping my board nice and locked in on the coping. When I'm sliding, I like to look at the end of the ledge. That way it keeps me nice and balanced and I can come off nicely. So you've conquered the 50-50 on the ledges, now it's time to step up to the rails and do some board slides. Now a lot of the things that you learned while you're doing the 50-50 on the ledge are going to transition over to doing the board slides on the rails and many other tricks. So we want to start on the angle as we're coming into the rail, nice and centered over the board, our knees are bent. Again, we want to pick that spot on the rail that we want to land on. So we're popping, landing on that spot that we've chosen. Again, our body, we're nice and centered over the board, maybe leaning a little bit forward. And then we're sliding. As we're sliding, starting to feel comfortable over the board. Once you get to this spot, you're looking at the end of the rail. You want to start to bring your shoulders across 90 degrees so that the board is starting to come with us. You'll feel, once you feel the board come with you, you should pop out nice and sweet and right away.
Alright, so you've mastered dropping in, you've mastered pumping the transition, you've mastered the rock to fakie, you've mastered the rails and the ledges. Now, you're ready to air a quarter pipe. Now this is my favourite personal thing to do. So, the first thing you need to do is start off small, okay? So you're gonna approach the quarter pipe on a slight angle. You're gonna have your knees bent, you're gonna pump up the transition like I talked about before. So you're gonna bend your knees, you're gonna ride up the ramp, you're gonna pop from the front, lift your back wheels, turn 90 degrees, look at the bottom of the ramp, land your knees and ride out. So it's important to keep your shoulders open, so like this, when you're approaching the ramp, so you can get that spin around. So you're coming up, your shoulders are open, you're riding up, you're popping, and your shoulders are following your rotation. So you started here, you're looking around over your left shoulder, your front shoulder, you're looking back around, you're coming through, you're landing. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way to the top. Alright, so you started at the bottom of the transition, you worked up to the middle of the transition, you're really feeling comfortable. Now it's time to take it to the top. We're going to bang your board off the coping. That's how you properly do an air on a quarter pipe. And it's the same sort of principles, but what you're going to do is you're going to Bend your knees, pump, slowly come up. And when your front wheels hit the coping, like this, you're gonna lift your front foot, right? You're gonna almost be doing a manual. You're gonna wait for your back wheels to hit the coping as well. And that's when you're gonna pop. That's when you're gonna pull your back foot up and you're gonna be in the air like this. You're gonna reach 90 degrees, come back down the transition. And I like to try and land a little bit on my front wheels first, so your back wheels clear the coping, okay? So that's really important. So you're coming back in and your wheels are landing just under the coping there. So nice and tight against the coping so you can get the most speed back out again, okay? So you're coming in like this, landing with your knees bent, and then you're pumping out again like we learned before.
Alright guys, so you've learned the basics of mountain boarding in a skate park. Once you got it all down pat, now you can start to put it into line. Here we go.
Wow, Jason, that was so impressive. All right, guys, the sun's setting here in Melbourne. That wraps up our session today. I hope you guys found that useful. We had a lot of fun doing it. We are actually going to be filming a lot more mountain board tutorials in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification. Now that will notify you every time a new mountain board video comes out. We do vlogs, we do different park edits, and Jason's actually coming out with a new street park soon. Right, Jason?
Yeah, bloody oath. And you know, we want to see what you guys are doing and how you guys are progressing, so make sure you're sending those videos through to our Facebook and Instagram pages at Oz Mountain Boarders, and can't wait to see them.
Yeah, so if you actually do that, guys, we actually have an Australian Mountain Boards YouTube channel as well, so we'll leave a link in the description below for that. You can check that out, and we might even put your tricks on that YouTube channel. And we actually just posted a new mountain board video from our mountain board demo a couple of weeks ago. So check that one out as well, leave a description below. But anyway guys, until next time, we'll see you on the hill.